I used to sleep with my ex-best friend's husband, and she didn't invite me to their wedding.
Ooh,
I mean,
kind of fair.
Makes sense.
Little bit fair. Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's hear more.
This story is going back a little bit, but strap in for quite the tale because I'm still in shock that I lived through some moments of this. I, 32 female, moved around a bit in my childhood around the world, but I'd say bulk of the time I was in England. By the way, this comes from Miss Bizzle1 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So while I was in junior school, one of my friend's cousin, let's call him Jeff, took like an interest in me, I guess, and started being my friend, and that was okay because, you know, we were just kids on the playground playing. He was 3 years older than me at the time, but I didn't think anything of it. Jeff went on to high school, and I was living my best kid life for another 3 years. We then go to high school, and I was super happy because I had found my first boyfriend. Let's call him Aaron, and he was in my class. Jeff was also in the same school, but of course 3 years above us. He would see us at break times or see me hanging out with my friends and always make it a point to come over and talk to me. When I started dating Aaron, he took a particular interest in this relationship and was always saying things like, "Have you guys kissed yet? Oh, you've just hugged. That's lame."
Okay, you're 3 years older than them.
Right, calm down. Let them
Weirdo.
live. This made me feel a little bit pressured, but we didn't really give into it because we were only 13 at the time. Yeah, that's pretty young. Anyway, unfortunately, the relationship came to an end because I left the country with my family. I moved across the world. Fast forward quite a few years. I think it was 2011. I came back to England, and lo and behold, who got in touch with me straight away when he saw a Facebook post? It was Jeff.
He's obsessed with you.
Obsessed.
You moved across the world, and it's been years, and he's still not over you.
He's keeping tabs, dude. He got in touch with me and asked to hang out, and I said, sure, why not? What could possibly go wrong?
Classic.
To shorten the story a little bit, let's just say Jeff and I decided to fool around that summer, and he said some pretty weird things along the way, like, "Oh my God, I've waited for you for so long." And it was just all a little strange. I constantly told him that it would only be a summer fling because I was leaving for university in September and didn't want to do long distance. September rolls around pretty quickly, and it's going to be the last time we see each other, and I had to remind him of that. We talked about it in the car, and the man proceeded to cry.
Ugh.
He managed to gather his feelings enough to drop me off at home, and that was the last I heard from him for a while. I got to university, and I flourished. Ah, good for you. I was always a social butterfly, making new friends, going out to party, and much more. I was living in a student accommodation on campus, and I made plenty of friends in my building, including my new best friend. Let's call her Amy. Amy is of the same cultural background as me, but from a different part of a very large city we're both from. Although her family isn't very traditional, she is very traditional in her views and how she would like her future to be. Based on this, she had never had a boyfriend. She was saving herself until marriage. She never even had her first kiss when I met her. She was obsessed with Indian television shows and the traditional archetypes that they would show on those TV shows. That's what she wanted her life to look like. In my opinion, that is my idea of HE double hockey sticks. I am what you would call the less traditional Indian person, even though I've spent some time living in India, which I always thought was weird. One of the main reasons it would never work out with me and Jeff is because he didn't really have the ambitions, goals, or outlook in life that I had. Like, I wanted to travel the world. I actually live in America now, build a career, and a bunch of other things before I settled down and got married and had children.
Well, look at you go.
I know, right? I would also never want to live with my parents or significant other's parents. Unfortunately, Jeff would never leave his parents, and any girl that he brought home would have to move in there. My idea of literal HE double hockey sticks. So back to university, I'm hanging out with my friend Amy every day, and she's always complaining, when will she find the right man? When is it going to happen for her? What is it going to take for her to find a nice Indian boy? And I thought, I might have a solution for this.
Girl, okay. Kind of crazy to me. Kind of crazy to me. Like, if one of my friends was like, I'm just looking for a man. And I'm like, here's a man I hooked up with.
Right. Who's like obsessed with me.
Yeah, he's still obsessed with me.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. Because my friend is so Bollywood, the way in which I introduced them was obviously no less Bollywood either. I introduced them outside a Sikh. I introduced them outside a Sikh temple back in London where she fell in love at first sight, and I'd like to say that they lived happily ever after, but we'll get to that point. Flashback a little to my summer thing with Jeff. When Jeff was with me, albeit casual, he would fold to me and whatever I wanted. I wanted to go to a particular place for dinner. That's where we're going to. I don't want to see the movie he wants to watch. We're not watching it. He was a complete and total pushover for me, and it was insane how I saw that flip when he started dating Amy. Oh, interesting.
Because he's not obsessed with Amy.
Yeah.
He waited for you for years.
Right. He would do anything for you.
Yeah.
Amy had a very jaded view of what a relationship should be. Actually, jaded is the wrong word. She had this traditional fantasy view of it, where there is a patriarch in the family and his way is the only way. There is no highway either. It's only his way and that's it. The women in these scenarios do not have rights or say in anything. So she thought that all relationships were supposed to be that as well. Dang. I mean, teach their own, but also I worry.
Yeah.
I worry. She was super happy to have found a traditional boyfriend. What I didn't realize was how traditional he had become and how he was a completely different boyfriend to her than he was a fling to me, which I just found so bizarre. There was one time she was speaking to him over the phone on the speaker, and I walked into her house to hear him. He was berating her, calling her names, and telling her that she is wrong. He would have never dared to talk to me like that, and I know that, so I took the phone from her and told him that if I ever heard him talk to her like that again, this relationship is over, and I'm making sure of that.
She's like, I'm ending it for her.
I'm breaking up for you.
Yeah.
That's the last I ever heard him talk to her like that. There you go.
Perfect.
It worked.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. We had a few weird incidents over time. His behavior was just a little bit off, and we didn't really hang out as a trio. I wasn't quite comfortable with that at first, but when I started dating someone else, I could hang out with them and not be an awkward third wheel. There was one incident in particular that I still can't believe happened. This has become a core memory that has also shocked me to my core. Amy was a brilliant cook. There was one night when she was preparing food for a whole group of us because there was an Indian festival. I think it may have been Diwali. She was making the food and I was there early to help out. She came over to me with a cucumber. I thought she wanted me to chop it for her, but boy was I wrong. She handed it to me and asked me to show her what I can do with it. I had asked her why, and she said, he told me to ask you for advice because you do it better. Ah! Oh my goodness. That is so wild. It has so many layers to it, and I don't know what to say. Oh my goodness. That's so sad. Dude, he needs to, and that's so sad too that she's like in this traditional mindset of like, he's right, I'm wrong, and I can't leave him. When I tell you I begged her finest pardon at this moment, I called him straight away and went off because that was the most horrendous thing I'd ever heard. Dude, that is crazy. Just imagine you are inexperienced and have your first sexual experiences with the love of your life, and you tell them, hey, you should ask your best friend how she did that to me. Dude, that is crazy because she was saving herself for marriage too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That sucks. Like, it's not about you, dude.
It's not.
It's not about you.
And that's just crossing so many lines, so many boundaries.
Like, honestly, someone else's first, like, if it's not your first sexual experience, but it is someone else's, not about you and that, like, it's not about you. You should be comfortable, of course.
Sure.
But like,
you
want to make that person comfortable.
Yeah.
That's like the priority there.
Right. Like, that's a whole nother like pressure for them. And then
Yeah.
the fact that you're just like, no, you're wrong and your best friend is better.
Suck.
Yeah.
You suck.
So wild. That's the moment I started distancing myself from the relationship. I maintained my friendship with her and we remained close, but I stayed away from anything he was attending or might be attending. Fast forward, we graduated from university and went our separate ways. I went to grad school in a different city and then went traveling overseas for a couple of years, while she went back to our home city and joined the workforce. I came back to the country in 2017 and we got back in touch shortly after. She asked to catch up over the phone because she had great news to tell me. We're talking away about my travels and plans now that I'm back, her work, and more. We get on to the news and she tells me that she's getting married. I was genuinely very happy for her and screamed, "Congratulations!" into the phone, but she cut me off with, "Yeah, you're not invited." What a wild way to bring that up. That's crazy.
I'm getting married and you can't come.
Yeah, like, hold your applause. You're not invited. That's so wild. Color me puzzled at this point because why else would she be telling me about her impending nuptials other to invite me or something? She goes on to tell me that she will be inviting the rest of our friends, but she can't have me there because she knows I slept with him first. I was dumbfounded at this scenario but I didn't argue with her. It's her big day, and if she doesn't want me there, that's totally fine with me. In my mind, this was the end of the friendship too, as she clearly didn't want me around generally. A few days later, Jeff actually called me and apologized for not inviting me because he really wanted me there. Of course he wants you there. That's so bad that he still wants her there.
He wants you to be up at the altar.
Yeah.
That's where he wants you.
Yeah, because listen, if this was just like an ex kind of situation and they were truly just friends and there were no more feelings, then sure, that's totally fine.
Different.
And he can want her there, even if like the wife feels uncomfortable about it, I guess.
He's still in love with her.
Yes.
Wants her to perform spicy activities.
Yes. Like, this is so wild. I don't want this marriage to happen.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't want OP there either, but also I wouldn't continue this marriage.
No, exactly. Anyway, she invited all our mutual friends and they started a group chat to plan a surprise. And what?
Hen do, like a bachelorette.
Oh, okay.
It's like British.
Oh, gotcha. And they started a group chat to plan a surprise hen do for her, including me into it, as no one knew I was not invited at this time. That is so awkward.
Ooh, it's like, hey.
Oh, okay. I let everyone know that I wasn't invited to the wedding. Maybe I should just read the story and why. Everyone knows the history and how Amy and Jeff met. And there was an uproar. I was very adult about it and told them that I'll excuse myself from the group chat and let them carry on. All of our mutuals dropped out of the wedding because they only tolerated her for me and they didn't like her much anyway.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
That sucks, man. I mean, obviously she is at fault in this, but like,
yeah,
Jeff is like the main villain here.
Yes, I agree. This is so crazy.
I hope they're not friends with Jeff. I don't
Me
know
too.
how OP can still be friends with Jeff. Honestly, that would make me incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If like an ex partner, not even ex partner, just like an ex hookup kind of thing,
Right.
told their current girlfriend / partner to come to me,
Right.
and ask me something, that would make me incredibly uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Because it's like, if their friendship obviously started in like grade school, so it's like it makes sense that like they can still be friends like after hookup or something like that, because it was just like one summer little fling thing. But yeah, after he's like being crazy like that, but I mean it kind of does seem like she stopped a little bit being friends with him because she was like distancing herself more and like telling him off and stuff. But I don't know what her thoughts are.
I don't know what's going on here.
But I know what my thoughts are on you guys watching and listening to more stories like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime. You'll find much more crazy things just like this story.
Do it.
But there is a little bit more. I'm just going to jump right in.
Let's jump right in. Let's find out.
Her wedding was only her family from her side, and he had a huge guest list of friends and family. They have since had 2 kids and are living with his parents. My ears are on the involuntary grapevine. Grapevine, thank you. And apparently he's a total POS to her, and she's living a very traditional housewife life. That's so painful, because I have a housewife life if you'd like, but I mean, as long as like he's treating you well.
There is a difference between being a housewife with a partner who respects you.
Yeah.
And being a housewife with a partner who treats you like crap.
Yeah.
And thinks that just because you're a housewife, they get to tell you, treat you like a child.
Right. Like we want to leave those traditions in the past.
Yes.
But anyway, OP asks, so am I the a-hole for sleeping with my ex-best friend's husband? Side note, remember how I was friends with Jeff's cousin back in school? I had the opportunity to go as that cousin's date to the wedding, but I declined to.
Well, that would be incredibly weird if you were not invited to a wedding and you're like, well, I backdoored my way into this wedding.
That would be crazy.
That would be a
drama.
little bit crazy of you.
Yeah, like the wife or the Never mind. I don't need to
like, why are
expand
you
on that.
here? And Opie's like, I was invited, you fool. You thought you could keep me away.
Right.
No.
Oh, that'd be so crazy. But that is the end of that story.
Yes. So we're going to get into the next one.